I'm sorry. Like, I'm just, you know, I got happy on watching YouTube videos. I got inspired. I did my eyeshadow and like, you know, I tried, okay? I tried. In today's video, I'm doing Goddess Locks. So the reason why I wanted to post this video was because I had a lot of questions on what do I do to keep it from unraveling, or how do I do it on the ends. Since this style does have loose ends, there is a way that you can maneuver around that to make sure you keep the hair in place, the stiffness, and it makes it feel tighter and it's really pulling on your scalp. So I'm gonna show you what I do to completely prevent that pain and how to keep that kinky hair in place. You won't have to worry about it slipping out. Someone actually told me that the full dread, like the whole kinky part just slid off the braid. So this will help prevent that from happening. And also, this is gonna help your dreads be completely flexible when you're done. Like, you're gonna be able to put it up. It's not gonna be all stiff and stuff. One thing I do wanna add for this style, this is a protective style. Your hair is gonna be completely covered up in this look. So I would take the opportunity to moisturize my hair as much as possible. A good thing to use for your hair to deep condition and moisturize it while it's in a protective style would be using something like cholesterol with shea butter, something with a cream. The cream that I'm using in this is by Blue Magic. Like, yeah, Blue Magic, girl. So it works really good. It smells great. It soothes your scalp. As you'll see, it's a good product to use. Just make sure with a style like this that you're gonna be oiling your scalp. I know some people have dryness, have problems with dryness, so use this opportunity to moisturize your scalp and moisturize your hair. It's gonna help in the end when it's time to take them out. It's gonna help you when you're gonna be detangling it and also prevent more breakage. So the hair we're using to wrap them is the Rasta Afri Kinky hair. I use one, and also the 1B and 30 just for a little highlight. The hair that we're using for the ends is the Go-Go Curl Free Tress Braid hair. It's the crochet hair. It has a very bouncy curl, a very big and bouncy curl. She actually chose this one on her own. She really liked this, so it's really up to you. And this was the Blue Magic. This is the tea tree oil leave-in conditioner, a styling conditioner. It didn't leave her hair greasy, just like it says, and it's cooling on the scalp. So I do like using this one on myself and everybody. So instead of starting it with braiding hair, I just started with the natural hair. This is what's gonna help you get that flexibility and also reduce the tightness on the scalp. So I just braided down the natural hair, and 1/4 from the end, I fed in that Go-Go Curl hair. And I continue to braid down until I reach the point where I would want to stop wrapping. And this will be the final product after you feed in the hair and you have the braids ready to be wrapped. Now you stretch that kinky hair to make sure you get it on there tight. You want to make sure you stretch this kinky hair before you put it on. It's just going to help you move along faster. So I have my 2 strands here. So I'm putting my opened crochet hook through that braid near the scalp, under the braid, and pulling the kinky hair through. That is what's going to allow that hair to stay put. It's never going to fall out. Now I lift that braid gently off the scalp, and that's when I twist the kinky hair close to the scalp. It's going to create that tightness that I want without really pulling at her scalp. Then I wrap it around a few times until I get the thickness that I want and start moving downwards. And you just got to make sure you keep that kinky hair nice and flat while you're wrapping it around. Keep it tight and push the hair upwards as you go to make sure it's all tight and you don't have that many gaps. Now, I haven't reached the end of it, but I ran out of hair. So I just wrapped it down, laid the end of that kinky hair flat, and started wrapping with the other piece of kinky hair in the same direction. Continuing with that tightness and keeping the kinky hair wide and stretched. You gotta keep it untangled so it's easier to stay put. I put it between 2 pieces of the end, and then I wrapped it back upwards. And you just gotta continue wrapping until you have every last strand wrapped in. Don't try to do a shortcut and bunch it up. You really gotta keep it stretched and keep pulling it, you know, tight enough so that each strand really gets in there. So I have my kinky hair in, the kinky hair is stretched. Lightly pull on the braid as I wrap that kinky hair close to the scalp, creating the width that I want, how big I want that dread to be. Keep it nice and stretched as I go and wrap it tight. Tight enough that it's really sticking to the braid, but not tight enough that it hurts your fingers. Your fingers shouldn't be burning or anything like that. So I've reached the end of this dread, and I'm gonna do this one a little different. I'm actually gonna tie the knot here with the 2 pieces of kinky hair that were still left over. After I tied in that knot, I just went through again and wrapped those ends back up. Now you do have the option, since there was so much hair left over, just to cut it and then stretch it and continue to wrap whatever you have there. But I wanted this dress to be thicker, so I didn't cut it. I just kept wrapping upwards until I got the thickness that I wanted. Won't you rub your fingers down my spine? Girl, you look mighty fine. Won't you rub your... And I wrapped that until the very last strand we wrapped in there. If there were any other loose strands that I saw, I wrapped that up too. Now you might be thinking, why don't you just grab both pieces of hair and wrap them together? Because that might cause lifting and that kinky hair to slide down and give you that problem. So I wrap them up separately so they can lock into their own places and really hold each other down. So on this dread, I've come to the end of that kinky hair, but I wasn't done wrapping it down, and I'm gonna add hair. All you do is wrap that hair down, get a new piece of hair, then you're gonna start wrapping it again in the same direction, but above where you left off. I start a little bit above that because I just want to make sure those ends are sealed down by the next part that I'm wrapping in. Won't you rub your fingers down
fingers down my side. Girl, you look mighty fine. Won't you rub your
Now, up at the crown, I started making the parts a little smaller since we're reaching the top. And the name of these parts, I don't really know. I just kind of used a rounded out pattern. I like this pattern for certain protective styles. I made sure to put that leave-in conditioner all in her hair and on her scalp. It helped me with the frizz and keep everything smooth too. And I did use a little edge control, but I only used it in the front edges to make sure all the little frizz and everything up there was handled. After you wrap it, it kind of takes care of that. So this was the final result that we got. As you see, she was able to put her hair up into a bun right away. The dreads weren't stiff, so we were able to move them and bend them. This was her first protective style, so I wanted to make sure that it was going to be a comfortable experience for her. And she was really happy with it, so was I, and I hope you are too. I hope that this is helpful for you and you're able to get some bomb dreads out of it. If you have any suggestions, please comment below. You comment below if you have any other suggestions. Stay tuned, there's so much more to come.